Peace Reflections. This is day 4, no meat, and I'm feeling good. Not only am I day 4, no meat, but I'm on my frequency of finally being away from the food. As I speak to you, I'm in a frequency of being cleansed. What I mean by that is a lot of times I'll speak from a state of just recently having eaten some bullshit, so I'm not speaking from all the high vibrations and high frequency that I be in when I'm cleansed from the man-made food and I'm tapping into my higher states and tapping into higher energies and higher frequencies. So right now, y'all caught me and I caught myself on a high energy, and just the energy I'm trying to get on through this journey of cleansing from the meat. Meat being the most densest food, meat being the biggest medium of sickness. It's the lowest of the low. So it's like rising up from the floor. It's like meat kills all your energy. Meat keeps you shackled to the lowest vibration, keeps you stuck in the solid. Once you let go of the meat, you start to melt metaphorically. Everything starts to open up. It's like you start to connect to all of life outside. Like the horizons start to open up for you. You get what I'm saying? Infinite potential. You start to build up all this life force. You build up all this energy. You tap into what life is beyond that dead state they have you shackled in. The illusion of this physical state and being locked in a logical, physical, everything is, what you can see, life is dead, you're the only thing alive. That they were able to get us to believe that so truly by feeding us the meat hand in hand, because meat is what allowed us to be in such a dead state to not even connect to the energy around us, even though we still are connected to it, no matter what. As a Black Latino especially, all forms of life, even human beings, white people, because we're collective conscious, they're connected to the same conscious we have, just in a different kind of body, a different type of biology, a lesser form of evolution, but still made in our form, but not made to tap into as much as we can. But so, one, I wanted to make this a longer video. So this is going to be a video instead of a short, right? I already, before I came and recorded, already knew that I was going to be going on for a good little bit longer than 3 minutes. So I'm going to have to actually hop on the camera. I'm recording on the camera app instead of hopping on the YouTube app and hopping on shorts, because that'd be convenient if I'm just recording a short. But we calling out a reflection of life, a reflection of self, of being on a lower vibration, probably a human being, especially from the way they were talking, who felt the need to comment on one of my videos. Or they could just be a deception agent. They could be any type of being. It doesn't just have to be a white person. And it could be one of our people who are just deeply lost. A Black person, a Latino person, a carbonated being, a god, or a goddess, or a god because their name was Robert, right? I don't want to give too much energy to this person, but since they felt the need to come and comment on my thing, and because I'm not the type to delete comments, because I feel like that's pussy, not even to say it like that, but not even to be toxic, like in that, because that's not really, I was going to say toxic masculinity, but it's not even, I was just more so just being funny when I said that. It's not that it's pussy, but more so I feel like I'm being fake. Because if I don't allow a free platform for criticism, like if I only want to hear the good shit, and I'm over here like a big giant stomping over anything as anything bad to say, that's kind of like a dictator who's squandering all his people who say anything in the press who speak against his regime. Not to compare that energy to that, but on the other side, it's more so the same energy of just trying to overly control and then not giving a free platform to allow anything to express what it wants to say. If I understand what I'm saying is truth, then I'll let y'all comment what y'all want to comment. And what is truth is literally, like if you drink water, it's literally going to do what water does. So y'all can comment all day about that water is going to destroy your tongue. Okay. Let anyone who wants to be distracted by that comment in the comments believe that. The ones who are smart and understand what the fuck water is, this is a metaphor, will drink that water and understand the truth of water. What I speak about when I speak about the fruits in this high frequency, one, it's mostly for my people, Black and Latino. So this is why I started with saying I think that reflection was a human being, because of the way they spoke about meat. Because human beings do need meat. Not even that they do need meat, because meat in itself is such an acidic, has such an acidic nature, and it creates such a toxic environment in the body that the blowback of eating meat will eventually catch up to human beings no matter what. Like, sure, because human beings, for example, a lot of them, when they try going super vegan, super fruits, they see the energy we be tapping into, how we heal, how we feel so good, and then they want to do what we do. And the ones who are on a really high frequency, who really tap in, they can. There'll be, and a lot of them, ironically, it could be white people, white guys too, but the white woman, because she gets her energy from the black woman, so and God naturally is feminine, like the real God of God is feminine, and source is feminine. Like the male comes from the feminine, so feminine is really just a fuller form of the male. A male just comes from the essence of the female. So everything the male is comes from what the female is, but in a different form. So when I say female, just picture a whole circle, and a male is kind of half that circle, except we're whole too. But I'm trying to say that the female isn't something outside of us that's different. It's more so our home that we come from. So the female is the source. Outside of a female body, before it manifests in the idea of what you think a female is in a body, I'm talking about the energy of the feminine. Female energy and its energy. Female energy is creation. That's literally creativity. So, why did I bring this up? Hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. Now I need to pull it all together. Yeah, the white woman, she gets her energy from the black woman. And the black woman is a physical manifestation of direct source, Mother Universe, within this planet. The black and Latino woman. So that's why even the white woman, or a white woman, you'll see them, they can tap in a lot more than even the white man can, the human being man can. The human being woman, you'll see a lot of them, they start eating fruits. They get really deep into the peace and the Kundalini energy and the yoga, and because they have a little bit more of the genetics in them to do so. And they have that intuition. Like white women still got an intuition to them that reminds me of like it's not fully with the intuition of a black woman, but they still have that intuition. But so, not to get too much into the white, black, and because it isn't even a white, black, but people are on such a low frequency that are going to hear a different energy through what I'm saying. And I'm speaking about species, but I have to use these words they gave us. So I have to jump back and forth. One moment I'm saying God and Goddess, and then I have to re-say Black and Latino again because people won't know what I'm saying when I say God and Goddess. And y'all hear God and Goddess as the energy they programmed into that word instead of seeing it as a literal word created by a human being. You give all this power into all their creations. Like my sister and my mom and her friends were arguing about a word yesterday. They were arguing about sweeped. The same way Alicia made up the word to say sweep is the same way a white man wrote up to say swept. But because the white man wrote it up in a book, it's true. Because he said it's true. Because you value the white and you give him that much power. Because subconsciously they programmed you that the white man is God and you don't even realize it. Like subconsciously, a lot of us subconsciously, even if we consciously would deny it, literally treat the white man like God. Because that's what they show us, a white face in the sky. It's going to have an impact on your consciousness in some level. If you see a white face as Jesus and a white face in the sky, and then white men run society, and they tell you that white men are the smartest, white men invented everything, you don't think that's gonna start impacting you? So yeah. But so to tie this all in, human beings can eat meat because they're animal hybrids made in our image. They come from the Caucasus Mountains. They read the history books, they read the science, and they mixed in what they are in it, but then they grouped us all together so we don't know when they're talking about them, or they're talking about us, or when they're talking about them, but coating it on all of us. So when they talk about these Neanderthals and they talk about coming out the caves, they're talking about them. But they tell us that we're all human beings. And they tell it in a weird way. And they tell it in a skewed way. But they put the truth and mixed in with all these details. But you can kind of unravel it all and start piecing it all together. But so these human beings are the real Neanderthals, right? They're not made in a natural way within natural creation. They're made in an artificial way by our fallen brother, a member of our species who's connected to actual creation, divine creation. We are divine forms of life. We have always been and we will always be. They gave God as a name they placed upon the being we are. We are living energy. They got their form, their body, and everything they are from us. And then they set out across the planet, their ancestors, after betraying us from everything we taught them. They then betrayed us and set across the whole planet and fucked everything up, and then started, doing everything they've done so far. Destroying the whole planet. But so they can eat meat. They can kill a dead body. They can kill an animal and feast upon its dead carcass. So that human being in the comments, most likely, if you're not a human being, my bad guy, or my bad self, my bad nigga, since you're vibrating in your lower self. Because I use that word intentionally. Nigga is a god in his lower self, and a bitch is a goddess in her lower self. Literally. No, literally. Like a nigga is what we think we are when we're just, I'm a black man. I'm a educated black man who went to college. That's the two versions of us in their system. We're either niggas or we're educated black men and women with a degree that the white man gave us. Happy with our position in the white man's system. Either way, you're lost. But so, if you're a black or Latino, or you're mixed, if you're a demigod, or you feel me, peace to you. My bad reflection, but the way you're talking got me feeling like you're a human being. Cause I feel like, or maybe that meat rhetoric got so deep into your brain and the mind fucked you so much that you're really out here defending meat so much. But that person was in the comments talking about meat isn't bad. I was on that hippie vegan stuff, but then my body started falling apart. My teeth, my gums, my shit. My body was hurting. So until I started eating meat, I didn't feel good. And then when I ate meat, my body started healing, blah, blah, blah. And he talked about this whole thing. And he was talking about how he did all these other things and did everything and stuff. People talk from their own projection. He knows nothing about I. He knows nothing about the fact that I've gone over dozens, probably over 100 something times within the past 5 years, literally probably over about 200 something times realistically, so many times where I've gone a day, 2 days, 3 days, a couple hours, as in when I say a couple hours, I mean like 15, 20, 25, enough to be considered a fast, and these are just the minor, I'm not even about to get into the major, where I've gone and not just talked about, I've put experiment to trial, and I carried it over to actually try it. And then through trying it, I actually discovered literal truth through the literal experience in my body, through the literal change in what I am. I don't just speak, I speak about a lot of what I speak about due to the fact of it being after already literally proving it to be real. So it shakes me to the core so much that then I try to find a way to get it out my soul. Because most people are lost without a purpose. So if there's anything that's truth, I'm going to want to try to gravitate towards that to actually be like, okay, this is connected to the actual purpose of life, whatever it is. You feel I? So whatever fruit comes from, which comes from nature, nature is the actual thing that the planet is, and I come from nature, and nature is truth. And nature is where everything starts from. And once you go out in nature, you look at life and start to unravel everything and tap into the real truths of life. Unprogram from everything they told you about life when you're in these cities. They box you in an idea of life in these cities and towns, and they snatch you up before you can go out into life, your own self, out into the world, and have a clear mind to actually tap into the truth of life. Most of us would never dare to go stab and eat a dead body. If we were never taught that or seen that or was in a society that did that, and we were never told about the word meat, if you never was given the word meat and the idea of what meat is, and you were just born out in nature, odds are we would have never been stabbing and eating dead bodies, especially my people, because we would have been eating fruits and plants in our natural essence. Unless we were lost and untapped from the truth itself. And a lot of us were taught about these Indians and ancient societies and hunter and gatherers and this false history of the world, thinking that we were just roaming the planet like savages. No, we were super advanced, and we come from nature. We're divine nature beings, and this planet belongs to us. We weren't doing any of that weird low vibrational shit just roaming the lands, barely wearing any clothes. We did that after y'all came to our planet because y'all dropped us to a low vibration. Us being in a tribal state was actually an adaptation to us falling into a low vibrational physical form where we lost the natural connection to nature, our elemental forces, our higher vibrational energies, our power, our telepathy, these divine things we were connected to, or everything we come from, our nature, our essence. It's like we just got completely altered and put into an unnatural state, and so we had to adapt to that. And so that's why we were really in tribal states and shit. But when it goes to the whole way they have you thinking about the world, within the thousands and thousands and thousands of years, all these hunters and gatherers civilizations, all these ancient civilizations, Babylon, the idea of what you think Egypt is, the idea of what you think Rome is, and because Rome and Greek was really their first civilization that they came in, that was really only a few hundred years ago. And the whole idea of everything has been written while it was happening. So there's a real reality which is happening in the real world, and then there's a false reality of everything they're telling you that happened. But the real world is actually outside. Most of us don't experience it. And the real world actually starts in nature above all. And most of us don't even step into nature, and they're killing nature. But when you step out into nature, that's when everything starts to center and you open up to the actual reality. And then within nature, then you look at what is actually there to eat. And what actually grows from nature to eat is what they call fruits, but that is a word they placed upon it. There can be millions of different variants of things that grow from a seed that was designed for you to eat. And they are just solid condensed matter of sun energy. That's literally what a fruit is. It's grown from the energy of the sun, and it's grown out of nature. Everything is energy. Solid energy is really just a blooming of higher energies coming into the lower energy to bloom it into what it comes to rise back up into higher energies. What I mean to say that is most of what is created within the solid was created or is created. Things come from a higher realm to a lower realm, back up to a higher realm. Like this room around us was created, but now it exists within the solids. The fruits are being fueled and created by the higher energies that are coming from the sun, that then form into a solid, what you would call a solid, but it's all energy. And that's the energy we're really supposed to be eating, the energy of nature. We are nature. Is it coming together? Is it tuning together? This is an artificial habitat. It literally only existed within 300 years. Nature is all there. Nature has always been here. Way longer than any of this. So we have always been in nature, and we just very, 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 very recently got put into these artificial habitats. But then they would come and tell me that this is how it's always been and how it always should be, and this is what we need to survive. How? How, Sway? For those who know who say that, y'all know who's peace to the God. How, Sway? Tell me. Because for real, this shit has only existed for about 300 years. All this sickness, all this disease, all this bullshit comes from living outside of nature. As soon as we step outside of nature, we start getting sick. We wonder why. Because you're doing all these things that are outside of your nature, that are outside of what is healthy for you, good for you. Not only that, you're living in an environment concocted by the people who, when they first came, enslaved you, raped you, attacked you, lied to you, snaked you out your land. Now we're living in their society. Letting our children go to their schools. Listening to their sciences, their ideas of the world. But so I kind of got a little carried away, but we're all channeling. It's all channeling. I don't even want to give too much energy to that person. I hesitate to say reflection because when I say reflection also says that that's a person who resonates on the same frequency or a similar frequency of I. So I'm kind of binding myself to that person. It would be a form of saying peace self, or like peace, a reflection of life rather. like a being who is alive within the energy of life, connected to life, but just isn't necessarily tuned into the sphere of energy I want to be within, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to say you're a reflection in the sense of you reflect the same energy that I'm on, but you're a reflection in the sense of you have a piece of the same life that I come from within Source. Whether someone turns against Source or not, everyone originally comes from Source. But so, the person in them comments who was talking all that shit about their body was falling apart, all that negative shit. Again, I started off by saying about how people be speaking through pure ignorance without knowing anything about anything of the person they're speaking to, the actual details of what they're speaking about, not history, but for lack of a better word, the history of shit. Like, people would just come through it's like coming through at the end of the movie, seeing one character, and then being like, bro, this movie's or acting like you know the whole movie. Like they're coming at the end of some shit without any idea of anything of what actually just happened and took place throughout the whole shit, and then just saying all this random shit. And little do they know, I've done so much beyond the point. It's like if someone trying to tell me I can't run, little do they know I'm a marathon sprinter who run medals, but they never see my name. So I'm just sitting back with my arms crossed like, oh yeah? Okay, yeah, keep telling me about it. Because this person over here telling me about how meat is doing blah, 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 and how I can't not eat meat because it's not okay, and the meat rhetoric, people thinking meat isn't bad, or that meat is bad. They're saying that it's bad that people think meat is bad, or whatever the fuck. Whatever they were saying, right? That person is saying that without knowing anything about what I've done or tapped into, or that I've gone over a month, several times, several months, several weeks, several days, multiple times. And then I've gone a couple days, hundreds of times, of eating only fruits. And then when it goes to not eating meat, I've barely, meat's the thing I've touched, like, barely at all. Like, I will eat meat as, like, the last resort. When I'm eating meat, I feel the worst. That person is saying that, meanwhile, every time I eat any of the man-made food, especially the meat, my whole body starts to have an immediate blowback. I immediately get extremely sick. I'm throwing up. My stomach gets bloated. I feel like I'm like rotting from the inside out. I get pimples on my face again. My whole body looks like it has the energy drained from it. My skin's been seeped of life. Everything I've tapped into gets drained from me. How good I feel gets drained from me. My connection to God gets drained from me. So why am I even replying to this person when I already literally feel and did and experienced everything I already done? This person's just a distraction. But I make this video as my own energy and for the reflections. For the reflections tuning into the channel. Just to give y'all a message, just to give y'all this energy, just to counteract that energy. I do this with a divine intention. I don't have to reply to this person. And I'm not dedicating this video to this person. But I more so create this as a energy to express in a way to overshadow that energy they just tried to shoot within their low frequency of an artificial reality that is literally not true. Maybe true for them if they're a human being, but even then, it's still not true. There's no reason to be eating a dead body. Stop calling it meat, call it a dead body. Because that calling it meat allows y'all to cope. Allows y'all to think y'all eating something y'all not. Y'all eating a dead body. Y'all eating a dead body. Y'all eating a dead body. Every time I go to reach for a chicken nugget, it doesn't look like a dead body. So it tricks you. That's why they'll cut it up in the form of a chicken nugget, a hot dog, a this, a that, a beef patty. It doesn't look as much as, you feel me? It disconnects you from the reality of the fact that you're eating dead flesh. That's the most sickening thing. Think about it. Actually think about it deeply. If we actually just took a little bit, it doesn't take that long to start thinking. Think about what a dead body is. Everything that exists within the reality of a dead, rotten carcass. The energy that comes with it. Doesn't it just reek of disease? Doesn't it just reek of death? Like it's going to kill you? So you cook it. and you change its form, and then you eat it. So then it seeps in you and creates a slow death. Get what I'm saying? That's like if we found a way to make bleach drinkable. We got all this water. Just like we got all this fruit. But let's go and try to make bleach drinkable. So let's go and kill these bodies that we can't even eat in its raw form. That's a dead, rotten carcass. That's the epitome of death, disease, and illness. And then let's try to force it to be edible. Like if we could make bleach drinkable to where it wouldn't kill you if you drunk it, I still want to drink it. Because it's still bleach. It's probably still going to make you feel like shit. Horrible. Disgusting. Now that's an extreme example, but at the same time, is it really? Bleach is a man-made chemical, so they can make it extremely kill you instantly. But meat is literally just a dead body. I'm only saying that in an extreme way to get us to think about what it is that we put in our mouth. It's not food, it's a form of putting something in you. You could put anything in your mouth. You could eat plastic. You could eat cardboard if you really wanted to. They dictate to you what is edible and you say, and then eat it. But so I rebuke the energy of that person talking about meat. Your reality exists within you. If that is true for you, okay, good for you. But your truth is not the truth. There is no my truth and your truth. The truth is the truth. That's the whole point of the truth. So my truth isn't even the truth because it's not the truth. Like the truth wouldn't be a my truth thing. Like if you're talking about the color blue and you're wearing red, then you're not wearing blue. So you can't be talking about the truth and then say my truth, because my truth is the complete opposite point of what we're trying to talk about if we're talking about truth, because the point of truth is that it exists in everyone's reality. It's objective. It's a permanent statement that exists right there and cannot be denied, cannot be changed, cannot be altered. That's the point of truth. That's what truth is. So in your reality, that energy exists within you, and you felt the need for some reason to make a comment to then deter that energy and try to pull away the souls who go to that video. But anyone on a higher frequency sees through it. We see through it clearly. Don't even read that comment. If you want to, you can, but you're just going to feed into it. I skimmed through it. I didn't even want to read it. But I only read it so that way I can know what I'm talking about when I make this video. I only read the first sentence initially, and I was just going to zone it out. But then I decided, you know what, let me read this whole long-ass paragraph, because it really is a long-ass paragraph talking about meat and defending meat. Like, damn, fuck is you so, like, bro. Man must be sponsored by Big Meat. The big meat industry, pause. You know, like Tyson. The one who made them chicken nugget bags, the right chicken nugget bags, and the big meat companies and shit. He must be sponsored. Let me find out. Because mans really came and sent a whole long ass paragraph. They be going overtime to create that energy to counteract any high frequency. Y'all do y'all. Y'all want to eat meat? Y'all can do y'all. Stop trying to convince me to eat meat. Fuck you need to come over here for it. Obviously, you don't feel whole in your frequency. Stay over there. If you felt whole and it was giving you everything you need, then stay over there and keep doing that. I create this message for people to be pulled too. Y'all don't have to click on this video. I'm not pushing this video on y'all face. This is for people who, oh damn, he's talking about no meat. Let me go tap in and hear what he got to say. I resonate with his message. If you're eating meat, why are you even clicking a video talking about no meat? I'm going no meat. Day one, no meat. I'm not going to click on a video talking with someone talking about how they're eating meat if I'm eating fruits. But so yeah, peace. Peace to everyone who tapped into this video. This is day 4 of no meat. I'm feeling good, like I said, because I'm, you know, about like 20-something hours, like 28, 30. I mean, actually, no, it's like 30-something now, like 31, 32 hours away from the last time I ate any man-made food. It's day 4, no meat, but yesterday I had ate some, I ate some Doritos, some chips, some pizza rolls. I talked about it in one of the videos I made these past few days. I talked about the bullshit I ate. I think it was I talked about it in the last part of, or either day 3 of no meat or day 2 of no meat. I talked about the last bullshit I ate a day ago. But now I'm feeling good, you feel? I'm feeling cleansed. I'm moving forward strong. Yeah. I'm never going back to eating meat. That's my intention. I have no reason to. And just to despite anyone who wants to come on this channel talking about their meat reality, now I'm definitely never going back to eating meat. Because I already got to the point where I don't need to. I just choose to. And it's kind of like that with all the food. Because that's how deeply I tapped into the fruits and my divine nature and the higher being I am. I started running on higher energies and feeling so full of life. So charged by the sun, so charged by my planet, so charged by ether, so hydrated from H3O2, real fruit juice, that I barely was even eating. I'll eat an apple here, an orange there. I'll have eaten maybe 20 oranges and 10 apples in the span of 3 weeks. And that will be motivating me, and I'll be more full of life than ever. No disease. Looking youthful, looking beautiful, looking divine. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. Look, because I'm bringing all this energy back for everyone talking about their dumb bullshit-ass reality. Now watch this as I start beaming, glowing, start bringing all these powerful, divine-ass energies. Y'all see my skin shining the way I look when I'm outside by the tree. Talking about some meat. You ain't never gonna see that on no meat. It's beyond just the fact that you ain't going to see that on no meat. The only thing that exists in those lower realities within eating the food is the 3D. You stay locked within the 3D. What I'm trying to get us to understand is when you stop eating these low-density foods, you break from staying shackled within this physical. Everything you feel isn't physical. So tap into that higher reality you come from. You start to tap into higher energies. You're getting a stream of higher energies beamed into your physical body. And you yourself are a higher energy being beaming into your physical body every time you wake up, especially if you're a Black or Latino, a soul. So we are way more than the physical. The physical is low vibrating energy, so we bring the energy into the physical. So when you eat all this dense food, especially meat, because meat kills the energy, right? Meat literally kills the energy. It makes you completely solid and dead. So the food itself just keeps you in a dense state, and then meat kills your connection to source within the dense state. But eating any of the dense food, any of these solids, they keep you within the solid reality, the solid realm. When right above solid is what? Liquid, gas, then plasma energy. Then it goes higher and higher and higher than plasma energy. Plasma energy is what comes out the sun. These are all forms of density, forms of matter, aka states of energy. With cold being low vibration just being slow vibrating matter. So what is low vibration? We know what low vibration is. It doesn't feel good to be there, right? Life is high vibration. Life is heat. Everything comes alive in the heat. I'm channeling divine science, and I'm starting to add more and more and more to my whole, if we want to say puzzle, or just the whole thing. I'm adding more and more and more as I go along. So it's like I'll re-bring up the same thing, and then I'll add even more to it and flesh it out even more. Pun intended, not really, because we're talking about meat, so I said flesh it out. But so when I talk about the divine science of heat and cold, I'm as I channel this information, I'm literally doing it as I'm doing it. Like I'm figuring it out as I'm talking about it. I'm experiencing the experience as I do it. Just like if I make a song, I have no pre-idea that this song is going to be what it is. It just happens when it happens. That's like a lot of things I do. But I do it in a way that's extremely, they would call it gifted or talented, but that's just an expression of high vibration, high energy. Literally, that's a form of energy. But so, look, all my thoughts are everywhere. Now I need to pull it back to my center. So, When you eat all these solid foods, like I was saying, it keeps you locked in this dense ass reality. It's like you're locked within the base state. Once you stop it, you break the lock, and then you start to go into everything else that exists beyond it. It's like when you're eating meat, you're locked within the box. When you're eating meat in this dense solid food and you're in this 3D reality, you're locked within the box we're born within. Of everything we thought life was, this 3D logical world. The moment you start to break open reality, free your mind, wake up, you then realize that not only can you step out the box, that there is no type of boundary that exists beyond the box, and it goes infinitely beyond anything you could ever fathom, and that life is nothing that you thought it was, but you're tapped into life, so you have the ability to connect to what life is, because you are life itself. So, when you break free from the 3D solid state, and you yourself are not a solid being, but you're in a solid body, you are retuning back into the thing you come from, the higher realms you come from, the higher densities you come from. The cosmos is really higher densities, higher energy fields of existence, higher realms. The cosmic waters. Get what I'm saying when I say that above solids is liquids? Liquids is a state of energy. The cosmic waters. So the heavens are the cosmos. The heavens is just the cosmos. That's a word they placed upon the cosmos. So when they say heaven, it's really the cosmos they're talking about. But the cosmos is just higher realm. The beings we are, so-called blacks and Latinos within this 3D density here, on higher realms within the cosmos, within the so-called heavens, are Anunnaki gods and goddesses. Get it? God is in heaven. Heaven is another word for the cosmos. Because when they talk about heaven, what are they talking about? They're pointing up and they're talking about the sky. In the sky, there's a bunch of waters. It gets into a higher and higher density. They want you to praise one member of our species who wants to be the one external God who rules over all of life with force and ego. That's Satan, Jesus, Yakub, Zeus. His real name is Zeus. So when they say their God sits in heaven, when I say that within this realm here, within this solid plane, all the way down here, we descend from the real full being we come from, which is Anunnaki gods and goddesses in a giant form. We come from the cosmos. We sit in the heavens. It connects to why they say God sits in heaven. They're telling you the truth in one form. Our being on the cosmic scale comes from the cosmos. We come from Sirius X to begin with. Our species originally was a bunch of black women. But they weren't black women in the sense of how it is within this solid density down here. The way you conceive a black man or a black woman down here is a descended form. That's why we're called descendants. We descend from the cosmic form we come from. Anunnaki gods and goddesses. All the religions are talking about us. But they whitewash it. All their mythologies talking about us. Actually, almost everything they make about is talking about us. Even the movies, even the TV shows. It's literally all talking about us. It's a form of truth, but they just turn it into a fantasy story. But it still all has truth within it. Every single movie, every single TV show, every single one has something in it. Besides maybe the movies that are talking about I'm a lawyer and I'm a doctor within this drama TV show that gives you idea. Those movies are modeled after what they want you to believe the world is. You know, those real world type TV shows that just be regular world, like the type of shows my mom would watch, right? Like Law and Order or some other shit. They're molding your mind. But not necessarily Law and Order. I was talking about more so just the actual TV show that you would watch. That's like an actual made-up TV show, but it's based on real life. Like something that's just real. Or what you think would be real. Like when you see this girl who goes to her job as a doctor every day and all the drama at her job as a doctor and all the people and she's going and all these guy trouble. Because I used to watch these type TV shows with my mom and shit. You feel me? Because I grew up with 3 sisters. They used to watch all these type, or if I'm watching Jessie is a good example, even though it's a little kid version. Those type movies or TV shows that are modeled after real life, those are the main things that actually make you think the world is what it is to this point. And when you show that to the Black and Latinos who actually cast vibrations over all of life, because we send out, we are the thing that energy springs from. So we kind of vibrate into all of the vibrations around us. What we think and what we feel and the energy field we contain ripples into everything around us. So we change the vibration of everything around us by looking at it, thinking about it, feeling it, touching it, right? So when we sit here and watch all these movies talking about what life is, we mold life to be that up to this point, to mold that over the world. But the real world is what's outside, and actually deeper than that, like I said earlier in this video, the real world is actually in nature. That's where it starts from. Everything we exist in is a man-made artificial habitat that we then based our whole idea of life within. How is all of life what exists within the stream of this man-made world's man-made human white man's perspective when it all was man-made within 400 years? Streets, houses, governments, fucking cars, especially technology up to this point, but everything we exist in within so-called modern society that we then mold our whole idea of the world and life around. If you're born in these cities and towns, it's like we think that's all life is, but then if you step in nature, all that breaks away and the real world starts to seep in, and you realize how sick you were. How sick you were living in this artificial ass way of life. And then it's a battle for the ones who wake up who still live in these cities and towns like because there's nature and there's this. I can get a little bit of nature stepping, but then I have to come right back to this. Existing around all these people who are asleep and still pushing this sick reality, who because this is all they know, and they're still existing in the state that I had to change and awaken from. My whole life I lived how they lived, up till 15. And I would have kept living like that if I never woke up. But they think I act from a state of... It's so hard trying to get someone to see something that you already experienced to literally be true. There's a difference between if I'm just talking about something, we're just talking. But if I'm talking about something I did, the literal truth, and I'm seeing everything you're suffering from, but I have to just let you exist within in your ignorant state, and not ignorant to be ignorant. Ignorant is in the literal definition of ignorant. Lack of knowledge, lack of awareness. Your lack of consciousness state. I have to let you exist in your state of suffering, because if I even try to step into your reality, you attack me. When I'm trying to bring the thing that could actually heal you through healing my own self. Through literally doing the truth. But then it's so hard because, again, I exist alongside the reality of all these other people. I exist alongside the reality of everything that exists within this matrix. The food. This artificial habitat, being outside of nature, outside of the air, outside of the fresh energy. You feel I? But so yeah, I'm feeling real good, as y'all can tell. I'm channeling, I'm activating, I'm raising my vibration. You feel I? And so yeah, I'm not going to be going out my way to address or respond to anyone who comes on an anti-frequency of anything that I'm channeling on this channel. Anyone who comes on this channel to then speak against what I'm speaking about, or come on a toxic energy to talk shit about me, or any of that weird stuff, I'm not even going to give y'all attention. I'm not going to give y'all the time of day. I make these I made 2 shorts in this video. Within these 3 videos, as far as right now within the present, this is all I intend to give y'all the energy of. This is as much energy I intend to give you. And I state this once and for all. What I said, which is that y'all energy is yours. Y'all are the ones feeling the need to come out y'all way to come to I's channel. I'm obviously irking a spirit in y'all. The truth I'm tapping into, my experience of the literal truth is the literal truth. So if it's the literal truth I'm tapping into, that I'm now trying to be a vessel to spread to my people, to this planet, then the truth will speak for itself. Anyone who wants to follow, anyone in the comments trying to deter y'all from the message that I'm channeling, deter y'all from the frequency that I'm channeling, hey, the consequences is that's for y'all to feel. Whatever happens to y'all, I am not responsible for. If y'all want to go listen to them and be led by the shepherds off the cliff with all the sheep, peace to y'all, have fun. I'm not pushing my message on anyone. I'm here being my own beacon, just expressing myself, standing in my own energy. I'm standing in my frequency and creating my frequency within where I stand. And I'm letting anyone who sees my frequency, who wants to come to my frequency willingly, come to my frequency. Now, y'all don't need to come out your way to come to my frequency, to attack my frequency. Leave me alone. I'm not coming towards y'all. So, yeah, word. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who tapped in. Thank you even for that person who gave out all that energy, saying even inspire me and motivate me to come on here and really go in on this bullshit ass meat that y'all want us eating. Meat is literally the energy of death. Meat is not natural for my people. So-called Black Latinos, Anunnaki gods and goddesses are not supposed to be eating no dead flesh, because we are electrical beings, plant beings, beings that eat the sun. You see the fruits, you see the plants, you see the trees, you see the flowers. We're made of that. We sprung from that. We feed on the sun. Do you see a single plant naturally? And don't give me no bullshit like the fly trap, the Venus flytrap. Don't give me no bullshit like that. Do you see any actual real plant? Like a tree or an apple tree or an apple eating no being? They're alive too. They're more than alive. They literally alive. That's how they're growing. That's how they exist. It's a whole ecosystem of life. Very intelligent. The plant kingdom is very intelligent. Do not dare overlook how intelligent the plant kingdom is. Now, do you see anything in the plant kingdom feeding on any flesh, any meat? No, they actually don't even eat, period. They eat energy. They show you the folk. We swear we can't eat energy. My people will be so lost. Even I will think it sounds crazy when I first started hearing about we eat on the sun. We eat only fruits. Even if we do eat, we don't need to eat because we eat energy. When I heard that, it's like, okay, I get the fruits. I feel the energy tapping into the air, the ether. But how you tell me we eat only energy, God? Well, now I understand it. Because look, that's what my plants do. The plants show me the actual science and energy that I come from. How is the whole planet coming alive? Not only is the plants not eating meat to be alive or eating anything to be alive, they don't have to eat any solid matter to be alive. The plants in the whole world is way more. The whole world is literally a whole being of life. All this life without eating anything, because they are eating. But we eat energy. And eating salads, eating food is just a form of eating energy. This is just one form of eating energy. When you eat salads, you're just trying to get that energy within it. That's just a lower vibrational, lost form of getting energy in us. When really we're supposed to be getting energy in us from the air outside, the sun, the soil, the energy of the planet, the energy of life, the energy of source beaming through us. The same energies that fuels that whole tree to come out the soil and grow as big as it can. And then not only does it come alive, it then seeps into the ground with all its roots to create all these. You know, when a tree is in the soil, its roots are connected to all the grass and flowers around it. It's all an internal network. The planet is extremely intelligent. Planet Kai is alive. Mother Nature is alive. But so what they do when they absorb the energies of higher densities, they're absorbing the energies of what exists in the gas plane through the form of ether. They're absorbing the plasma energy from the sun. They're absorbing the liquid energy from the water. And they're not eating any form of solids. And that's the whole plant kingdom. And then not only is the plant kingdom sustaining itself to create itself off of pure energy to manifest itself into a solid form, that plant kingdom then fuels a lot of the very beings within the animal kingdom to live. A lot of the animals, what do? They eat the grass. So you eat the grass, but the grass was eating the energy from the sun to manifest itself. So really when you eat the grass, you're eating a solid form of the sun. My people literally eat the sun. We are literally plant-based. Black and Latino people are not black and Latino. Those are titles y'all placed upon us, upon bringing us into y'all cities and towns, upon what y'all call civilizing us, when really we civilized y'all ass. We brought y'all out the caves. The Moors civilized the whole human being species. Before they spread outside of Europe and started conquering the whole planet, the Moors civilized the entire human being species. Because that's what we elected them to do. That was their assignment. We gave them that assignment. We say, civilize these beings who are made in our form by our fallen brother. Because we feel bad for them. They were made in an artificial way. They have our blood within them. Genetically, they're family. They're long-lost cousins. They came to our planet through portals in the Caucasus Mountains. That's why we even call them Caucasians. We said this is your rope, because Europe was your rope. Like Europe, really, if you say that word, if you really say it the right way, your rope, it sounds like your rope. Like this is your rope, because we didn't want them coming outside of Europe. Europe was the coldest part of our planet. There really was no cold on our planet, but the coldest part of our planet was Europe, the lowest vibrational part. But if the planet is super high vibrational, the lowest vibrational part of a super high vibrational planet is still very high vibrational. But we had them on that part of the land, and that was their rope, your rope. We were teaching them everything they know. We were civilizing them. But their genetics that Zeus programmed them with, came through. The way Zeus designed them started coming to fruition. They started getting filled with all this envy, all this jealousy, all these lower vibrational spirits, all this negative energy. And they started using everything we taught them to spread upon our planet. To rip into our soil. To erect their world, their human world, into our world. To rename planet Kai into Earth. Renamed after the planet they came from that Zeus created them on. Planet Nern, aka planet Earth. Which exists in the 6th universe. We're in the 9th universe. This planet, Planet Kai, is in the 9th universe. These human beings, these white people, along with these Chinese and Japanese people, the fake Asians, because there's real Asians, carbonated beings. The fake Mexicans, because there's real Mexicans, the Ayans and the Incas, carbonated Mexicans. So there's the white people, the fake Asians, the fake Mexicans, the Arabians, and the fake Indians, the Dravidians and shit. Because there's carbonated beings on all continents, on every landmass. Our species is what this planet belongs to, and we're what belongs to this planet. These human beings made in this body, in this form, are an artificial foreign entity to this planet that will only exist here for a very short time. So we existed on every single landmass. They just have thinned our populations more and more and more and blended in with us. And you feel I grouped us all together and started teaching us against what we come from and what our nature is. You feel I? And then through them teaching us all this false shit, because we're souls, so-called blacks, Latinos, we started manifesting this false human reality. Believe in this false human narrative, this false human history, the false idea of what took place on this planet. But that's all crumbling down as is that we retune to the real reality that exists right in front of us, outside, in nature, the real truth. Truth is just the real reality. What really is happening, that's truth. Truth is what's real. So truth is life. Truth is actual life. The natural state of life. So yeah, day 4, no meat. I'm moving forward with a very strong intention. Sorry if I'm tongue-tied. Even though I don't need to apologize for that, but I'm just saying that when I trip over my words, I'm tongue-tied. So bear with me. But yeah, I'm actually feeling good. Like I'm feeling decent. Pretty decent. I'm gonna start feeling a lot better. The more it is that I build up my energy more and more, the more it is that I cleanse all these low vibrations, cleanse from this man-made food. But yeah, I move with the divine intention
to move forward from all this man-made drug food, and especially the meat. Especially the meat. I rebuke all the energy from that person who made that comment talking about what exists within their reality. Okay, cool. You go exist in that reality and do what works for you. You don't need to project it onto me. If that works for you, good for you. But I'm tapping into the literal truth of what's literally real. You feel I? So yeah, peace to everyone. Thank you for everyone who tapped into this video. I said that a few times already, but yeah, peace.